While to get out of the gate, but I caught you up. There you go.
Thanks for joining us. See you next time on The Chase Australia.
Tonight, 5 people injured in a shock scaffolding collapse. Details live. The mystery death of a 3-year-old girl found dead in a car. Heading home at last, hundreds of Australians set to touch down after weeks in limbo in China. The urgent investigation to find out what led to the deaths of dozens of koalas. A mother's extraordinary message of compassion after a family tragedy.
I don't hate him. I think in my heart I forgive him.
And Novak Djokovic says sorry after making tennis history with a remarkable come-from-behind victory.
Live from our Melbourne headquarters, this is 7 News with Peter Mitchell.
Good evening. 5 people are in hospital tonight, injured when 3 stories of scaffolding came down in a shock collapse this afternoon. Workers fell as much as 10 metres and were forced to jump for their lives when the scaffold gave way without warning.
A construction site in chaos after the scaffolding gave way.
It just started falling down like dominoes.
Bringing workers down with it.
They were actually up on the scaffolding working at the time, and they've ridden the scaffolding down to the ground.
The structure was meant to make the 3-storey townhouse development safe. The workers were putting it up at the time. It was 10 metres high. Some of the workers jumped for their lives.
One of them jumped into the building from the top. Another one held on. As it was falling off, he jumped straight off. So he was all right, but some of them were unfortunate to be in the middle, so they got stuck with all the metal and all the braces and everything on top of them.
Dozens of tradesmen were working on the site, but many were inside the building. They rushed to help their injured workmates.
Screaming, some of them couldn't breathe properly, and some of them were yelling out, "Who knows CPR?"
5 men were treated by paramedics and taken to hospital. One man, aged in his 20s, and another in his 50s, suffered serious injuries. The site was shut down and WorkSafe inspectors have been investigating.
Melina Saris joins us live now. Melina, how are those injured workers tonight?
Well, Mitch, we don't know the nature of their injuries, but it has just been confirmed that one of those men is currently in a serious condition in hospital. The other 4 men are now listed as stable, so that is an improvement. Some of them are still receiving treatment in the emergency department this evening. The area here where the scaffolding collapsed has just been fenced off as the WorkSafe investigation into how it happened continues. Mitch.
Melina Saris at Craigieburn, thank you. Police are investigating the death of a 3-year-old girl found in a car on a hot day. Paul Dowsley is tracking the investigation. Paul, she was found in Gippsland after temperatures had topped 40 degrees.
Mitch, it was last Friday night in the driveway of a family home in Morwell. The 3-year-old girl was found unresponsive in her mum's SUV, and it's understood she was found in the boot. That day it had been hot, about 43 degrees in Morwell, and at the time that she was found at about 8:30 at night it was around 34. Now, neighbours told me today that a recently separated single mum lives there with her 3 daughters, and that the middle child, the 3-year-old who died, was a beautiful and curious little girl. One theory is that she was hiding in the boot of that SUV, but by the time she was found, it was too late.
They had a child on the lawn and they were obviously trying to resuscitate her.
I just saw some emergency services parked outside the house, about 3 police cars and 2 ambulances.
She was pronounced dead at the scene. The homicide squad has now taken over this investigation, Mitch, but so far no charges have been laid.
Paul Dowsley at Police Headquarters, thank you. An extraordinary homecoming operation is taking place tonight to get stranded Australians out of coronavirus-affected areas of China. 243 are in the air right now and just over an hour away from touching down on Australian soil. They were flown out of Wuhan after weeks in limbo.
At the epicentre of a global crisis, finally, relief.
I understand you guys have had a massive day, so thank you very much for your patience.
Thank you for all your help.
Professional rollerblader Rob Kellett and mate Josh Nielsen travelled on eerily quiet roads and through guarded checkpoints to reach Wuhan Airport and a way out.
Time to go home.
Nearly a third of the Australian evacuees are children. This was a mission to help the most isolated and vulnerable.
This has been a very orderly exercise, and I want to thank all those involved for that.
After 12 hours at an all but deserted terminal surrounded only by heavily protected staff, finally the rescued were on their way home.
Fingers crossed everything works out, eh?
But the impact of coronavirus is being felt worldwide. In Box Hill, trade at Tom Jeng's cafe, like many others, has plummeted 70%, and he's running out of options.
They'll only close the door, shut the business. We don't know.
In recent years, the Box Hill economy has been booming. These bank branches are normally among the busiest in Australia. And yet now, because of coronavirus, they're all but empty.
The fear for the virus has spread much faster than the virus.
Box Hill traders say with just 4 cases in Melbourne, there's simply no reason for people to stay at home. Laurel Irving, 7 News.
And the Qantas flight from Wuhan is due to land in Learmonth in Western Australia soon. Elle Giorgio is there covering developments. Elle, they're almost home, but their coronavirus ordeal isn't over yet.
It isn't, Mitch. Good evening. And the government isn't giving us much indication of what preparations are getting underway here at Learmonth tonight as they prepare to receive 250 Australian passengers from Wuhan. All it's telling us is that the airbase here it has the necessary facilities to accommodate all of these passengers. They say it will take time to safely move all 250 of these rescued Australians to Christmas Island on smaller flights. So that they can be quarantined and that can all get underway. But Mitch, this flight direct from Wuhan is due to touch down here at Learmonth in less than an hour's time. Back to you.
Elle Giorgio in Western Australia, thank you. An urgent investigation is now underway to find out what happened to dozens of koalas found dead after the logging of a blue gum plantation. So far, at least 40 of the animals are thought to have died after the land was cleared near Portland, but it's feared more have been lost.
Believe it or not, these are the lucky koalas. They survived but still require urgent help. At least 40 others didn't after a logging massacre the government suspects was highly illegal.
Every Victorian can rightly feel not only appalled, deeply saddened and heartbroken.
The view from above this private 60-hectare property in Portland reveals the extent of the destruction.
I think there's been not one logging operation here, but there may well have been 2. And one may well have been in accordance with the rules and the other one not.
Southwest Fibre conducted the first logging operation late last year. The company says it did everything
increase his sentence. So the court adjourned. Dominic,
when his ute mounted the curb and ran into a group of 7 youngsters.
On the same path where 3 of her children died, grief takes over. Layla Abdallah, a mother in mourning. Finding comfort in her faith, she returned to the scene and prayed.
My kids are angels. They are right now with us. I can feel them. I've got goosebumps. I can feel them touching me and telling me that they are with us. To be fully honest with you, it feels very unreal. I still don't feel it's true. I feel that they are still with me. I'm still waiting for them to come home.
Unimaginable heartache, but still, she showed compassion for the man accused of killing 3 of her children.
And I don't want to see him. I don't hate him. I think in my heart I forgive him, but I want the court to be fair, right? It's all about fairness.
Anthony, Angelina, Sienna and their cousin Veronique Saker allegedly run down by Samuel William Davidson. The 29-year-old is accused of being 3 times the legal limit when he mounted the curb in Oatlands on Saturday night, hitting 7 children.
As the family grieves, it is clear the community feels their pain. All day, friends, family and complete strangers have arrived to contribute to the memorial.
Miley Hogan, 7 News.
Billionaire Clive Palmer spent almost $90 million on last year's federal election campaign. Despite a media blitz to win votes, his United Australia Party failed to gain a single seat in Parliament. The Australian Electoral Commission has also revealed the Liberal Party was given one of the largest donations in political history, receiving more than $4 million from property developer Isaac Wakell. The National Party is tonight in crisis with a leadership spill expected to be called tomorrow. Barnaby Joyce triggered the mess after announcing on 7 Sunrise that he wants his old job back.
We're going to do this once, that's a one shot.
After the scandal of Barnaby's baby, he now wants his leadership reborn.
If there's a spill, Koshy, then I'll put my hand up.
But as Bridget McKenzie steps down over the sports rorts affair,
the breach of ministerial standards was clear.
Michael McCormick is defiant.
I have the support of the National Party, and nobody has phoned me to say that I haven't, or nobody has phoned me to say that there's a spill.
It's leaving Victorian National Damien Drum bemused.
It's a little bit like watching Mum and Dad have a fight.
Renowned as a retail politician but also damaged goods, Mr Joyce believes his time could come again if tomorrow's party room meeting to replace Bridget McKenzie as deputy precipitates a leadership spill.
Now it's time to do it, 2 years before the next election.
Any one National MP can force a leadership spill, and 3 say they're prepared to do that tomorrow, although all concede Barnaby Joyce might not have the numbers this time.
Well, I don't think Barnaby would do that if he doesn't have the numbers, and I don't think he has the numbers, so I don't think it will happen.
David Littleproud is tipped to become deputy leader. Darren Chester wants Bridget McKenzie's cabinet spot as another leader leaves of his own accord.
I know this comes as a shock.
The Greens' Richard Di Natale wanting to spend more time with his wife and young sons. He'll leave Parliament within months.
I just see former leaders who hang around the Parliament like a bad smell, and I think, what the hell are you doing there?
Adam Bant, his likely successor. Mark Riley, 7 News.
There are serious questions in London tonight over how a convicted terrorist just out of jail was able to kill 2 people during a stabbing rampage. He was wearing a fake suicide vest when police shot him dead.
On a busy London shopping strip, police run, pistols drawn and open fire.
Get back! Go to the back of the store!
They're undercover officers. One swaps a beanie for a police cap, and it becomes apparent the man they've shot may have a suicide vest. The street is clear.
Guys, you need to start moving backwards very quickly.
A terrorist has been shot dead just down there. They've got a possible IED vest on them, which is a bomb.
More police arrive within minutes because their suspect had been under their watch. 2 people had been stabbed, a third hit by glass when police fired their guns.
And then everyone ran off, and one guy laying on the floor and definite blood around him.
The bomb later ruled a hoax device. The attacker, 20-year-old Sadesh Aman, reportedly obsessed with knives, convicted of 13...
Its emotion got the...
Melbourne's Botanic...
Then...
Toyota Koala.
As part of Victoria...
Former barrister Nicola Gobbo has won the right to not show her face while giving evidence to the Royal Commission into the Lawyer X scandal. For more, we're joined by Georgia Comensoli. And Georgia, the only person who will be allowed to see her is the Commissioner.
Mitch, Nicola Gobbo will be giving evidence at the Royal Commission, but she won't be showing her face. Today, the Commissioner granted her the right to suppress her image. That means only her voice will be made public. It's believed she may have drastically altered her appearance because less than 2 months ago, Gobbo showed her face for an interview on the ABC, and the Commissioner says the decision was made due to safety concerns for Gobbo and her family. The lawyer turned informant represented underworld figures such as Tony Mockbell in the early 2000s while giving information to police, and she is due to give evidence at the Royal Commission tomorrow. Mitch.
Georgia Comensoli in the city, thank you. A Frankston grandfather on a mobility scooter has been left badly injured after being attacked by a dog. A woman who had been walking the dog ran off, leaving him bleeding and badly injured.
Already dealing with serious health issues, the back of Gary Ward's hand was torn open in the dog attack. But the response by a woman who was walking the dog also cut deep.
I thought it had actually damaged an artery, so I was panicking. And I held onto it and I looked around, she's 50 metres up the road going hell for leather.
The grandfather of 6 was mauled while travelling in his motorised scooter along Heather Hill Road around 11:30 yesterday. He approached a woman with a dog he believed to be a tan-coloured boxer and which seemed to be friendly.
Took all the flesh, so got all the meaty bits, but the tendons are all okay. I've never seen so much blood in my life.
Security vision shows the woman taking off with the dog. It's believed she is blonde with a solid build. Gary was taken to hospital for plastic surgery. There are at least 2 dogs which live very close to the scene of the attack, which looks similar to the wanted dog. Their owners deny any involvement, with council staff now checking other registered dogs which could match the description. Police have also been notified. Gary Ward is undecided if the dog should be put down, but he does want the woman to be held accountable.
Since she's done a runner, I think that's the lowest thing he can do.
Cameron Bowe, 7 News.
Australia's Mitch Wishnowsky has kicked off Super Bowl 54, but he won't be coming home with a ring. His San Francisco 49ers blew a 10-point lead, handing a fairy tale win to Kansas City in a thrilling game headlined by a risque performance.
100 million watching and America's biggest sporting show had an Australian kick it into life. Perth's Mitch Wishnowsky wearing number 6 for San Francisco in his first season. The Aussie rookie punting right into place as the 49ers threw everything.
Hughes check, touchdown!
At their rivals, the Kansas City Chiefs, a rare tie at half-time before the other big show. Shakira and her team rocking the arena before J-Lo upped the risque factor. I'm still Jennifer Lopez. Surrounded by dancers. A 15-minute extravaganza with her daughter Emmy. On the sidelines, Rupert Murdoch, Beyonce and a Beatle. More famous faces for the crowd at home.
Who'd you expect?
I don't know. Me?
Commercials costing $8 million a pop.
At home, it's where I can be myself.
While out on the pitch, it was Mitch
Wishnowsky hits it.
and San Francisco trying to hang on, but the Chiefs couldn't be stopped.
Into the end zone for the touchdown!
For the Chiefs, this is a celebration 50 years in the making. They last played and won a Super Bowl in 1970.
Amelia Brace, 7 News.
Back home now, and Jane Bunn joins us now for an early look at the weather. And Jane, it's a rather cool breeze outside.
Mitch, what a change we have experienced from hot and humid to cool and showery. The city only reached 17.7 today. It was 43 last Friday. Late last week, air over Darwin was pushed down to us, with humidity peaking here on Saturday. The dew point tells us how much moisture there is in the air, and that was the highest reading I've ever seen in Melbourne. It made it feel even hotter than it was. Jump forward to today, and air over Antarctica has been pushed up to us. This air is much drier, so that dew point plummeted, so it feels even colder than it is. So cold that rain changed to snow in Tasmania. This is Cradle Mountain in the coldest part of the system this morning, while the snow settled at Mount Mawson, covering the summer grass in a blanket of white. I'll have more after sport, Mitch.
Just no more muddy rain. Thanks, Jane. Ahead, Victoria's classroom crisis, why most of our teachers are ready to walk away. Also, a lasting tribute as former foes unite to remember John Cain. A world-famous model caught up in a sexual harassment scandal. And see how Margot Robbie stole the show at the BAFTAs.
I want to kick Colin's butt.
There's the sausage man. So, are we getting a corn sausage, a chicken sausage? I don't know.
The sausage man has never done anything like this. Will his secret weapon take Manu's champs to the top?
So early in the competition that I can't believe we're actually going to do this.
Australia's most loved teen cook on My Kitchen Rules. Tonight, 7:30 on 7.
At Coles, we're helping to lower the cost of summer favourites. Coles thin beef barbecue sausages down to just $9 a pack. Coles, good things, great value.
Tickets are now on sale for the Australian Ballet's new season. From thrilling love affairs to electric modern dance. Escape the everyday with a trip to Arts Centre Melbourne. Book now for the best seats at australianballet.com.au.
Meet the revolutionary Sleeping Duck mattress reimagined by aerospace engineers. The first mattress ever to win Choice's Best Overall Mattress 2 years in a row. It comes manufacturer direct, free of markup. Sleeping Duck, incredible quality with incredible value.
Society at large had kind of given up.
% on adults and kids fares with Spirit of Tasmania. Book online by February 22. Be a spirited traveller.
With Australian Super, it's my small, simple actions combined with the expert help I get that has grown my money in ways I never could alone. I guess that's why they've made so much money for members for so long.
It's Australian, it's super, and it's yours.
At Coles, we're helping to lower the cost of summer favourites. Coles barbecue pack, down to just $9 for a 1 kilo pack. Coles, good things, great value.
We're just a few days into the new school year and already more than half of Victoria's teachers say they want to quit. They're the findings from a major survey that reports most school teachers feel overworked and undervalued.
Monash University asked questions of 2,500 teachers across Australia. Their answers were stark and disturbing.
The workload is incredibly difficult to manage.
34% of teachers surveyed were dissatisfied with their roles. 58% said they planned to leave the job. 53% said they wouldn't recommend teaching as a career. And 75% said their workloads were unmanageable. Stephanie Westcott spent 5 years in the classroom before changing professions.
One thing that a lot of people don't realise about teaching is that it takes a significant emotional toll.
Very surprised by the results of this survey. I love this profession. I feel very, very lucky that I found this job.
Principal Pitzer Binion has seen big changes since she started in the classroom 35 years ago.
I think society has become more complex, and if you're going to see more pressures out in the society, then you're going to see them engaged in your school.
Of the teachers surveyed, 71% said they didn't feel appreciated. But the university also found that around 90% of the public both trusts and respects teachers. So to help get the message through, the uni wants to get the Thank Your Teacher hashtag trending. The alternative could be a disastrous shortage of educators.
We need to listen to them and we need to make the changes that they're asking for if we want to protect the workforce.
Dean Felton, 7 News.
Melbourne's property market has had a strong start to the year. It climbed 1.2% in January, with the median house value reaching almost $800,000. Prices are tipped to continue surging in the coming months, but affordability is a key barrier for buyers. Former Premier John Cain has been remembered as a political giant who modernised Victoria in the 1980s. Our longest-serving Labor Premier was honoured today when thousands gathered for a state memorial at St Paul's Cathedral.
He won 3 elections in the 1980s, ending almost 3 decades of Liberal Party rule. And today, almost 30 years since he left office, thousands came to honour one of Labor's true believers. A packed St Paul's Cathedral heard of John Cain's legendary work ethic as a lawyer, then politician.
On his wedding day, he and Nancy were married midweek. John was able to fit in a couple of pleas down at the South Melbourne court before heading off to be married.
But behind the modest, clean-living politician was a wry sense of humour.
The occasional appearance of a quarter-filled glass of wine in front of anyone was usually met with the question, "So you're heavily into the grog, are you?"
And he ended decades of women being discriminated against in politics and by sporting clubs.
John understood that respect was the bedrock of gender equality.
He oversaw Victoria's first female minister, Pauline Toner. Today, half the state cabinet is female, a fact that filled him with pioneering satisfaction.
Stay the course, never give up was his message to us. He would urge us all today to do the same.
To honour John Cain's role in transforming the Australian Open, Melbourne Arena will be renamed the John Cain Arena, the so-called People's Stadium named after a man of the people. Brendan Donahue, 7 News.
Supermodel Bella Hadid has been caught up in a sexual harassment scandal. The New York Times claims a top executive from Victoria's Secret acted inappropriately towards her at a fashion show. The newspaper says the company's owner knew about the incident and others like it, but failed to take any action. Australia's Margot Robbie missed out on a BAFTA in London but had the crowd in stitches with a speech that wasn't even hers. She was accepting an award on behalf of Brad Pitt. It included a jab at the royal family, right in front of William and Kate.
A fan favourite and our only BAFTA's hope. It wasn't to be for Margot Robbie, but the Aussie star still managed to steal the show, reading an acceptance speech on behalf of co-star Brad Pitt.
OK, he starts by saying, "Hey Britain, heard you just became single, welcome to the club."
First Brexit, then Megxit.
He is going to name this Harry, because he is really excited about bringing it back to the States with him. His words, not mine, thanks.
William and Kate in the front row. The Duchess of Cambridge embracing the joke and this year's theme of sustainability, wearing a recycled gown. The Duke addressing the lack of ethnic diversity among nominees.
I've launched a full and thorough review.
The night was dominated by British war epic 1917. Renee Zellweger named Best Actress for her portrayal of Judy Garland. The BAFTAs are considered a reliable indication of which movies and performances will go on to succeed at the Oscars. They're now just a week away. Final voting closes tomorrow.
And wow, what a great way to stop yourself from getting coronavirus.
In London, Sarah Greenolge, 7 News.
Coming up next, a big hit for our share market. It's being blamed on coronavirus, but worse could still be ahead. Also, a surprise find after a western suburbs house fire. New lunchbox allergy fears. See what health experts want every parent to know. And a four-way battle for a fortune found buried on a vacant block.
My Kitchen Rules champions.
The Sausage Man has never done anything like this. Will his secret weapon take Manu's champs to the top? My Kitchen Rules, coming up next on 7.
Woke up, fell out of bed, dragged a comb across my head. Found my way downstairs and drank a cup. Somebody spoke and I went into a dream.
We're for trusted news, sport and opinion every day.
I read the news today, oh boy.
The Herald Sun, we're for you.
Land Rover sales season comes with an unprecedented $20,000 worth of extras on the special edition Range Rover Sport. Acquire yours before sales season goes.
Miss Fisher.
Jack.
Is this your idea of sweet nothings?
On February 27th.
A lady detective at the scene of a murder? Not unusual in my experience, sir.
An adventure awaits.
Neither of you are leaving until this case is solved.
That's so mysterious.
Who are you?
So glamorous.
Just thought I'd drop in.
It's criminal.
It's not over yet.
Miss Fisher and the Crypt of Tears in cinemas February 27th.
Get ready, Melbourne. The exhilarating Billy Elliot the Musical arrives at the Regent Theatre in 2 weeks. Strictly limited season, don't miss out. Book at Ticketmaster.
woman.
New Aerogard fabric spray. Goes on clothes, not on skin.
If you've been thinking about university, now's the time to get started. But enrolments close on the 23rd of February. Find the right study choice for you, all in one place, with Open Universities Australia. Explore, choose, enrol.
Don't miss the BMW Expo sale event. Receive complimentary stamp duty and up to 12 months registration across selected new and demonstrator BMW vehicles. This weekend only at the BMW Expo.
Isn't it funny how different our kids are? The way they do things their own way. Luckily, Tip Top has a range of bread that has all the fibre, vitamins and minerals they need in white, wholemeal and kids' grains. Tip Top the one for everyone.
The impact of Australian travel bans from China rocked our share market today. Chinese tourists have been all but blocked from Australia, with no one really knowing when they'll be allowed back.
This bright floral display greets guests arriving at Sydney's Sofitel Hotel. But this year, coronavirus has kept many away.
Naturally, it's taken the gloss off Chinese New Year.
It's not just the immediate cancellations.
What we're now dealing with is booking pace for the future, and that's something that will last for the remainder of this year.
At 1.43 million, China's annual visitors to Australia outpace those from the US, Britain, Japan, even New Zealand. And they're big spenders, last year adding $12 billion to our economy.
Will have a significant negative impact on the economy. It's too early to assess precisely what that will be.
In past health crises, demand recovered quickly once a cure was found.
The real unknown is how long is that going to take.
A big worry is that travellers outside of China will also stay home.
Many nations may just decide they don't feel like travelling this year.
Our share market reacted, but not as violently as feared, with the ASX 200 losing 1.3%. But gold shone through, with its price hitting a new local high and investors flocking to gold mining shares in search of a safe haven. Gemma Acton, 7 News.
A mother and her 3 children had a lucky escape from a Caroline Springs house fire. It started in the garage just before 6 this morning, quickly spreading to the rest of the house. Fire crews also found a hydroponic drug crop. Another school year is underway, and for many parents that means a return to packing lunches. While there's a push for healthy options, mums and dads are being urged to ensure lunchboxes are allergy-friendly as well.
For Butsy and Rotendos in Yemba, food can be dangerous.
Sometimes I feel a little bit sad because the other things that other people eat, they look really yum, but I can't have them.
The siblings, aged 10 and 8, live with egg and nut allergies.
I'm cautious about them, so I don't get too sick.
Now, parents of children without allergies are urged to be cautious too.
It's responsible for parents not to send peanut paste and things like hard-boiled egg that's been mashed.
Particularly in prep and primary school.
Young children are messy eaters, and so if they're going to be eating something like that, it gets on their hands, it gets on chairs, it gets on tables.
And potentially into the wrong mouths. Peanut and cow's milk allergies are the most common, experienced by around 2% of children. Those with a nut allergy are more likely to have a severe reaction, including life-threatening anaphylaxis.
You feel helpless. And the child's scared as well, like you can see the fear in their eyes.
It's a scenario many schools try to avoid.
They just try and just keep them away from me just so I don't eat them.
And educating kids with allergies is also vital.
They know not to eat anything before they find out what's in it.
Because the consequences can prove deadly. Mackenzie Rawn, 7 News.
Gary Ablett has revealed he's taking a different approach to his final year of footy, and that headlines sport with Tim Watson. Hello again, Tim.
Yes, Mitch, the Little Master has a plan and it involves playing less. Hear from the dual Brownlow medalist next. Also, why Max Gawn's injury could see this Saint step up. Plus, the price the Joker didn't have to pay for touching the umpire's foot. And the drought is over for the Kansas City Chiefs.
I can't believe I'm telling you this. It's huge, I can hear it.
As soon as they get you out, engine.
Have you ever seen a fire like this?
Never.
The last words he said, I promise I'll be safe.
Those that work under me save the lives of many. I'm a very proud captain.
Australia has seen a lot of bushfires. We have never seen anything like this.
Hellfire, the 7 News event, Tuesday, 9 o'clock.
Macca's mini games are coming. Play and win every time, only on the My Macca's app.
It's Holden's 2019 plate clearance with 7 years free scheduled servicing.
Free? As in free?
100% totally free? Free?
Free, as in free as a birth free. Yep, and it's across our Holden range. With Holden, you got this.
Come on, we have to pick up the kids.
Feel like a rock star when you park like a rock star. Short and sweet zone now open at Melbourne Airport.
If you don't check what's underground first before you dig your next hole, how do you know what you're about to swing into? Because if you strike a high-voltage electricity cable or high-pressure gas main, it could be the last hole you'll ever dig.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Be safe every time. Search Dial Before You Dig online every time and avoid digging your own grave.
Liven up your lunch with Tip Top sandwich thins. They're super soft and light, and each one is only 99 calories. So you can enjoy a softer, lighter lunch. Now available in Tip Top burger thins.
How did your ancestors find their way here? Why did they leave for distant shores? What did they build and where did they work? Find the answers with Ancestry, the world's leading online family history company. Connect with the people and places that led to you. Start searching for free at ancestry.com.au.
Land Rover sales season brings with it an unprecedented $20,000 worth of extras on the special edition Land Rover Discovery. Seasons change, some change better than others.
Macca's mini games are coming. Play and win every time, only on the My Macca's app.
This sports report brought to you by Macca's.
Welcome back. You can expect to see less of Geelong superstar Gary Ablett in his final AFL season. He played all but one game last year, but now the 35-year-old wants to preserve his body for the finals, determined to claim a third flag. Ablett revealed his game plan to Sean Salby.
Spruiking his health retreats venture, Gary Ablett could have more me time this season.
I know there's been a lot of talk about whether I should have been rested more throughout last year.
Ablett played 24 of 25 games.
I always talk about peaking at the right time. You know, I want to make sure, first of all, we win enough games to play finals footy, and if that is the case, then I'm feeling good, come finals time.
This will be the dual Brownlow medalist's 19th and final season, and he admits it's a little weird.
That excitement, and I'm probably a little nervous at the same time, knowing that, footy's going to end at the end of this year, but I'm just trying to enjoy, every moment.
Harry Taylor also resisted retirement, and unlike Ablett, he's not putting a line through next year.
Yeah, not really sure. Just happy to, try to play good, consistent footy to help the team. That's sort of as far as, I guess, my horizon is.
Having led the reigning premiers by 21 points at half-time in a prelim, only a flag will do.
The plan is to finish up with a premiership. We're confident that we've got the team to do it.
Last year the Cats won 11 of their opening 12 games after a dream pre-season, but this off-season they've been hit hard by injury.
I'm not sure what the magic cure is, but we hope that most of our guys can be back sort of later this month.
I don't think it's a concern.
Premiership or not, come October, Ablett will be hosting fitness vacations on the Gold Coast.
It's something that I'm really passionate about. I've always been into my fitness, always been into travelling and just connecting with people as well.
Sean Salby, 7 News.
Still on AFL, Max Gawn's knee injury has opened up the coveted Victorian State of Origin ruck spot. Chief football reporter Mark Stevens joins us. And Stevo, there's a bolter in the mix.
There is, Tim. His name is St. Rowan Marshall, and very much in the box seat. He's only played the 33 games, but runner-up in the BNF last year. Sources close to this tonight now expect Marshall to be in the squad for the massive fundraiser on February 28. At worst, to share the ruck duties with another Victorian, Todd Goldstein. I believe Goldstein also right in the frame, wants to play and expected to play. Marshall, one of 8 Saints the AFL has officially asked about. Dan Hanbury is not one of those, but positive signs there. He's on track to play for the Saints in the first Marsh Series pre-season game. That's only 17 days away at Moorabbin against the Hawks, barring a curveball. He'll get 2 of the 3 practice games in at least, so good signs there. Nathan Buckley at the Pies today in a very cuddly mood with some fans there, very relaxed down at the Holden Centre. Brodie Grundy looked a little bit restricted, but he's expected to get the number 1 ruck duties in that game for the All-Stars. Brodie Grundy very keen to play. The Pies fully expecting him to go around. And just briefly, Robbie Tarrant, Ben Brown at the Kangaroos and Brad Hill at the Saints also expected to play in that huge clash, Tim.
Thanks, Steve-O. In breaking news, Australian Open champion Novak Djokovic has escaped a fine for touching the chair umpire's foot during last night's epic final. Under the rules, he could have been fined up to $30,000. The Joker pocketed $4.1 million prize money from his 8th title at Melbourne Park. Cricket Australia says there are no plans to move the Big Bash final and Bushfire Bash charity game away from the SCG, despite rain forecasts for Saturday and Sunday's reserve day. The Sydney Sixers won the right to host the final after beating the Melbourne Stars, who could still reach the final with a win over the Thunder on Thursday night. Meanwhile, Victorian Will Pekoski suffered concussion in a freak accident while captaining a Cricket Australia 11 on the Gold Coast. Marcus Harris has replaced him for the rest of the series against the England Lions. Tottenham stunned reigning Premier League champions Manchester City with 2 second-half goals. The first from debutant Stephen Bergwijn.
Instant Tottenham star!
Son Heung-min followed up 8 minutes later. The Spurs' 5th on the table, 4 points behind Chelsea in 4th. And Australia's wait for a Super Bowl winner continues after Mitch Wisnowski's San Francisco 49ers came up agonisingly short. The punter from Perth had the honour of getting the NFL decider underway in Miami this morning. His 49ers led the Kansas City Chiefs by 10 points in the first quarter before some Patrick Mahomes magic.
Launches down the middle, Hill, open, caught, the big play.
The longest play of the game sparked a run of 3 unanswered touchdowns. Kansas City ran out 31-20 winners. Coach Andy Reid preparing to celebrate.
I'm going to go get the biggest cheeseburger you've ever seen. Prime, the biggest one, and might be a double.
Mahomes took home the MVP award, and Mitch, Andy's a big man. I think it might be more than a couple of burgers too.
Yes, indeed. Do you think Novak should have been fined for touching the umpire's foot?
No, but I think a reprimand would have been right.
Reprimand, a slap on the wrist. Thank you very much indeed, Tim. A bitter stoush is taking shape after $500,000 was found buried on a vacant block. 4 different people say it's theirs, but a judge will end up deciding who gets to keep it.
Subdivided, sold and now up for sale again. This Runaway Bay waterfront block is worth big bucks, but the fortunes of 50 Lay Drive run much deeper.
Bucket went into the ground and outrolled this package in a Tupperware container.
Inside, wads of old Australian notes, the total $388,000 worth of clean notes and around $100,000 in damaged notes.
The police stated that if the true owner couldn't be found, we've got a right to that money.
We had no idea if this was some sort of crime money, drug money, whatever.
Initial reports claiming bank robber, postcard bandit Brendan Abbott may have hidden the cash while on the run were false. So who really owns it? Possibly this man, Stephen Ma, a travelling Chinese chef who didn't trust banks. His brother, Peter Chan, owned the property from 1990 to 2007.
I know who owns the money. I told the court already. That money belongs to him.
Stephen died in 2015. His son is now staking a claim.
We'll just have to wait and see.
Mr Ma is now in a legal battle to keep the cash, along with its finders, Warren and Daniel, and the land's current owner. Even a homeless person tried to claim it. Next month, a judge will decide who is the rightful owner.
I'm in with a chance, might only be a small chance, but a chance.
Brian Seymour, 7 News.
Jane is next with the forecast, and Jane, is it warming up again soon?
Mitch, this chill will be forgotten in a few days. The details are next.
The season starts with a blockbuster clash.
This is huge.
Richmond versus Carlton. AFLW. Friday, 7:30 on 7.
New Hyundai Venue. Fits in anywhere. Stands out everywhere.
Your spare pair. Your glare pair. The flying through the air pair. We could all use a second pair. At Specsavers, get 2 designer pairs, no gap, from the $199 single vision range when you're with selected health funds.
Find time to unwind as you roll along from one ocean to another on board the Indian Pacific. With 3 bonus nights in Perth, plus a tour of Rottnest Island. Find time at journeybeyondrail.com.au. Become part of a 50-year legacy.
I had it all happening. Then...
It happens.
Next came the cost of a wedding.
It's happening!
In Fiji. And then...
It happened.
Everything changed. Leaving a big credit card bill. Luckily, Society One rewarded my good credit with a low interest loan, saving me money. When it happens, visit Society One.
I'd like a bar of chocolate, please.
Your change.
Happy birthday, Mum.
There's a glass and a half in everyone.
Viking, the thinking person's cruise, with no kids and no casinos.
Viking's Explorer sale now on. Save up to $4,000 per couple. Call 138 747 or see your Viking travel agent.
The back seat was a battleground until the award-winning Santa Fe brought new levels of space, comfort, and safety. Now, the Hyundai Santa Fe brings you V6 power.
See this? It's where coffee spurs debate and thinking ignites. It's where the unknown becomes the adventure, where we look back and recall, without regret, the best times of our lives.
Will you marry me?
I'd be honoured. Yours is a love story for the ages.
You were my first love, and I want you to be my last.
You're invited to something very special. Home and Away, this week on 7.
Hello again. After the recent heat, today's wind feels quite cold. Gusty southwesterly winds whipped up the waves on the bay and pushed showers across the Melbourne area. The southeast recorded a few millimetres. After starting the day on 13, the city only reached 17.7. This is 8 degrees below the February average of 26, and only a few above the coldest on record. But the heat can spike. We've been as hot as 46.4. That was on Black Saturday. The showers eased this afternoon and pockets of sunshine returned, but the wind certainly has a bit of bite. Having a look outside now, and in the city it's currently 16, but it feels like 13. Have a look around those suburbs there where the wind has picked up. It feels like it's just in the single digits. Phillip Island, 15. Feels like 6. The cloud and showers are only affecting southern Victoria. Came close to snowing at Mount Borbor, and it did snow in Tasmania. The north still has sunshine, but the southerly wind has an effect. Only 17 today in a few spots. The hot and tropical air was knocked out by a cold front, and what we're breathing now was once over Antarctica. The next ridge of high pressure moves in tomorrow. That should protect us for the rest of the week, while tropical moisture runs into troughs further further north. So Victoria is generally dry until the weekend, but there's a lot of activity up to our north. Rain across the top, but also in these parts of Queensland running in through here and New South Wales. And there is the potential for effective rain on the fires that are still burning on the south coast. We're cool today, greens and even blues across Victoria in these gusty southerly winds. But the wind gradually turns easterly this week. It'll warm up, but also turn humid. Not as much as what we saw on Saturday. This air here is coming from Sydney, not from Darwin. Around the nation tomorrow, Brisbane has showers increasing ahead of a very wet week. A gusty cool change hits Sydney late tonight. Tomorrow just 24, cloudy but dry. Hobart was 40 last Friday, only 15 today. Tomorrow a comfortable 21. Adelaide begins a sunny stretch. Perth's heat continues. To Victoria, the cool wind eases. Tomorrow dry and mild to warm. Afternoon temperatures generally 3 to 4 degrees higher than today. Morning cloud in the south, otherwise it's sunny. Closer inland, it's a cool start. Just 8 in Scoresby, only 4 in the Yarra Valley. Cloud clears southwards during the morning for light winds and sunshine. The city, early cloud, then sunshine. A pleasant top of 21. To the 8-day outlook, Wednesday, completely sunny. We'll go for a top of 23. 27 and then 29 to end the week, and it starts to feel a bit more humid. Across the weekend, 31 and 30 is what I'm expecting. There is the slight chance of a late shower or storm on all of these days, but really the next wet weather is next week. So a cool start before a pleasant top of 21. Turning sunny, lighter winds, that'll feel a bit nicer. Mitch?
Bushfires still burning and we've got February snow in Tasmania.
We've got it all, and that red dust.
Goodness me, yes. Bit of everything. Thank you, Jane. And that's the way it is this Monday, the 3rd of February. Thanks for your company. For now, from the 7 News team, good night.